There is a famous Mishnah in Masechet Avot, Dalet Tetvav, that I'd like to explain. It says, Rabbi Matya ben Harash Omer, Heve Makdim Beshalom Kol Adam, Veheve Zanav La'ariot Va'al Tehi Rosh Lashu'adin. So there's this famous Mishnah is telling us that Rabbi Matya ben Harash was one of the rabbis who actually was there during the time of the Raban Bet HaMikdash and ended up in Rome. And he's actually known as Rabbi Matya ben Harash Meromi. He also was an extremely wealthy and successful financially individual, besides being a tremendous Talmid Hakam. And his famous ma'amad is that you should always say hello to everybody. And a lot of times when we learn these Mishnayot, we learn just the lesson the individual was teaching us. But here, I actually want to learn from the individual himself, who was a very financially successful person, that he made it his business that he would say hello to everybody. And a lot of times we see people that are important in many different respects, but we don't see sometimes that they might go out of their way to greet others, especially others that might be smaller than them in age or in another value. And one of the lessons here is not only to say hello to everybody or to smile or to wave, but furthermore, you have to look at yourself as an individual, that if you have some form of success in any way, your value of the shalom is much higher. Furthermore, there is another ma'amad brought down in Masechet Berachot Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Amuru alav al Raban Yohanan ben Zakai shelo hikdimo adam shalom me'olam va'afilu goy bashuk. It says in Rabban Yohanan ben Zakai that on him no person ever preceded him in saying hello, even a goy, a nochri, bashuk, even someone who was not Jewish, he was always the first to say hello to them. Now, what's interesting about this other ma'amad is that this rabbi also lived during the time of Chorban Habayit, and Rabban Yohanan ben Zakai, even though he has the title of Raban, he's the only rabbi that I've seen in the Gemara that has the title Raban, and he was not Nasi l'Israel, but they gave him that title of Nasi because of his tremendous value that he brought to Klal Yisrael. He lived 120 years, and many takanot came through him. And we see from him, who was also a very important individual, that he would say hello to everybody, even a goy in the shuk. I found the Ben Yehoyada from the Ben Ish Hai, and I'd like to share that. Let's take a look. בשם הגאון בח ז"ל, מהי אפילו דנקית הכה, ומהי רבותי דרבי יוחנן בן זכאי בזה דהה, כל אדם חייב לעשות כן, להקדים שלום לגוי, כדי שלא יקדימו הגוי ויצטרך לכפות לו השלום. So he's asking the question, are we supposed to learn from here that a Jew, a person, should go and say hello to every single person and not Jew that he sees? So he, the Jew would say hello, and then he would get a shalom back. So there's a halakha brought down in Orach Hayim that if a person's name is Shalom, you shouldn't say it in a bathroom or in a bathhouse, or like a mikveh, or a place like that, because one of the names of God is Shalom. That's one of the reasons why on Shabbat there's a custom not to say Shabbat Shalom to people in the morning before you pray. Instead, they say Boker Tov or Shabbatat Tafta, things like that. But Hataz Hitir, the Torah Zahav allowed a person to say Shalom to another individual whose name was Shalom in a bathroom. לתת שלום או להחזיר בבית הכיסא ובבית המרחץ אסור. The Hida would say it was not allowed, but לקרוא איש ששמו שלום מותר. But if the person's name is Shalom and you want to call his name, then that's okay, because that's actually his name. עיין שם. והנה מבואות מטונפות, דינם כבית הכיסא ובית המרחץ. And he says the pathways or the streets that are dirty, similar to a bathroom or a bathhouse, it's the same thing. You can't just go and say shalom to people because it's not a clean place and you're saying the name of God or one of the names of God. That's actually if you actually know that it's a unclean pathway. If you didn't know, if you don't know, then you could assume that it's not dirty. And then you can return a shalom if you hear it and say a shalom. That's only amongst Israel. Because of the love and the shalom, when you say hi to another Jew and he greets you back, you feel that love. Even though the majority of streets are dirty, they're not clean. But with a goy, we don't go out of our way to say maybe it's not metunaf, because most of the pathways are dirty. But Rabban Yohanan ben Zakai, his unique trait was that he said even in the case of maybe metunafot, maybe not, he would go out of his way to greet every single person and say shalom to them. And I think this is important, especially today, where so much that we're doing today is technology based, and we're so much on our phones, tablets, laptops, computers, that any type of human interaction that's a positive one helps a person, especially in communication. And that's why I think that these things today actually have extreme importance, that a person should say shalom, he should smile, and he should greet people, even in situations and in places which might not be the perfect location or place. If it's permitted, as brought down in the Sfarim, then you should go and greet. You say hello and you say hi. And I remember hearing a story years ago about one of the great rabbis that lived in Muncie. I don't recall the exact name, but on his funeral, one of the nuns from the city came and attended the funeral. And one of the ladies had asked her, like, why are you here? And she said that every morning, the men and the women would walk on different sides of the street. And so whenever she would be walking, and many of the Jews saw her, they would just cross the street and walk on the other side and ignore her. While this rabbi, big Talmid Hacham, would go out of his way and just say, good morning, shalom, and just greet her and continue. And that small greet meant so much to her, and it means so much to so many people, but today we discount it. But I think we should reevaluate it and say shalom. Shalom Aleichem.